Hi, welcome to Taurus Tarot. I'm Joy, and I guess I'm kind of like the tour guide through this journey called life, and through the lens of tarot, and also through the lens of, love, joy, peace. I really do try to focus on, the very positive things in life, and not give too much attention to the negative things. And that's not to say that we are, or I am, ignoring the parts of life that are not so positive, but I am on a mission to take that energy that feels negative or low vibrational and transmute it into something positive. There's a very deep recognition within myself that that there are challenges that will come our way, and it's how we handle those challenges and how we are able to transmute them into some type of learning or some type of perspective that that moves us forward in a very positive way. So I'm using the Tattoo Tarot deck, and what we have here is the Six of Coins. So the Six of Coins is like a card of reciprocity. It's kind of like this give and take sort of relationship. The Eight of Coins, try this side. The Eight of Coins is really about, like, working at something in the physical reality, like just kind of working at it to master it, to perfect it, to get it to something that is balanced. Yeah, there's a lot of balance in this card right here. Then we have the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is kind of contemplation a little bit. It's kind of seeing what you have, but not all of it. Like kind of seeing what you have and feeling a little bit maybe a little bit empty from it, but not really realizing that there is there's beauty in what it is, and something that you're not seeing. Yeah. Then we have the Four of Swords, which is this card of rest and relaxation, of needing to kind of go within a little and come to terms with some things that you may be dealing with, some ideas or thoughts that you may be dealing with. Yeah. So together, this really is for me a message of finding relationships, like having reciprocity in relationships. Yeah, having that equal give and take in relationships. That equal give and take, it's very balanced, right? But the understanding that requires some work. That requires some work and effort, to having that balance in the relationships. And really, the balance, there's actually there's beauty in that, right? There's beauty in the idea of a relationship that is not just one-sided. And I'm really getting not one-sided in the sense of just getting what you want out of it, right? Because that's important, of course. You want to feel like a relationship is beneficial to you, right? Because otherwise, why would we be in it? But at the same time, it's really important for you to consider the other person too, and what they're getting from the relationship. And if they are expressing to you that they're not getting what they need, then maybe you have to take a look at whether you can provide that, and if not, then maybe it's not the right relationship. But if you can, then maybe that's something that you need to really look into doing. Yeah, so that it's balanced, and it's it's a relationship that is reciprocal. It's an equal give and take. It's not just you getting what you want out of it, but it's also providing to the other person too. And that is also love, right? If this is a relationship based in love, then you will be you will want that other person to feel that they are in a reciprocal relationship as well, that they are getting what they need, and that you are getting what you need. Yeah. so that work that we're kind of feeling, that you know, that what you need to do is kind of like this, right? These 2 4 cards right here. And what I'm really was feeling from this 4 of Cups here is that, you know, sometimes it's about perspective as well. Sometimes it's about really seeing that, you know, what you have is a beautiful thing, and being in a state of gratitude for it, you know, like really taking a different look at the relationship, and seeing it in a different way, possibly, you know, because maybe you're not really recognizing all the wonderful things that that are a part of it. And maybe you keep asking for more in the relationship because you're not really seeing all that you're actually getting. Yeah. And that's really important. That's really important. That's important for the reciprocity and the balance of it, is the ability to really see what the other person is really contributing. Yeah. And then we have the 4 of Swords here. And this is really speaking to, you know, taking a moment to take a step back, and maybe, you know, take a step back from the relationship and be alone with yourself and your own thoughts. Be alone with your own emotions. Yeah. And really contemplate and think about what this relationship means to you, and you know, how your unhealthy thoughts or patterns may be affecting it, and just, you know, just an opportunity to really take a good look. And I like this card. What I was really feeling from this card was, if you look in the middle here, right there, it's a 4 of Swords, but these 2 swords are really like one. And so I really felt it like as ideas like really coming together and understanding, right? In understanding, ideas coming together to form some kind of understanding. And if you see in the middle here, there's this beautiful flower, and I just kept feeling like lotus flower, right? Like out of all these kind of like you know, crazy thoughts that kind of are just random and don't make a lot of sense, like through this period of rest and relaxation and contemplation, your thoughts kind of come together and into a better understanding to form this beautiful flower, right? And it's almost like this message of you know, your thoughts and ideas kind of come together in understanding that this relationship really is a beautiful thing for you, but kind of it takes some understanding of you know, not being so selfish and not being so focused on what might be missing, but being more focused on like what is really there. Yeah. And that's huge. That's really huge. Together you can grow and you can work at this relationship to fill in the pukas, to fill in the holes of things that, you know, could be better, or that you could grow to nurture and grow into something wonderful and beautiful. But then don't forget that, you know, there's already a lot of wonderful and beautiful things existing in your relationship right now, but are you really seeing them, or are you focused on the things that are missing? Are you focused on the pukas, right? The holes. And through this process, it's really going to bring you to a place of real reciprocity, of real equal give and take, of real balance in relationships, right? And that's, you know, I mean, you really can't ask for more than that, right? To have relationships in your life that are balanced. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. This can be anybody. This can be friends. It can be siblings. It can be co-workers. You know, it's important to, you know, approach relationships in this way, and to strive for real balance in relationships, because if they are out of balance, you know, there's a lot of frustration and resentment and all these really lower vibrational feelings that can come into play when a relationship is not balanced. Yeah. And another thing that was just coming to me is just because something may be out of balance doesn't mean it has to be the end of it, that you have to immediately just get rid of it. You know, you can go through this process. You can put in the hard work, right? You can put in the effort to build it into something that is more balanced. I don't think things are just going to automatically pop into our life that are just going to be 100% beautiful 100% of the time without any effort. I don't think it works that way. If it did, I think what happens is that we take it for granted, you know. But when we are able to grow something, right, we're able to put the work into nurturing it and growing it, it's almost we have a better appreciation for it, right? Almost like having a plant, right? You know, you go and you buy this fully formed orchid plant in the store, and usually that's how they sell it. The orchids are already blooming, right? There's already this wonderful, beautiful plant with these beautiful flowers, but the flowers eventually die, and then you just kind of have this plant with typically very sparse leaves. You know, not the most full and beautiful, attractive plant without its flowers, but if you don't take care of it, it could you know, it's not really gonna bloom those flowers again. It takes a lot of patience and time and effort into nurturing that plant and giving it love for it to bloom those beautiful flowers again. At the same time, when you plant something from its seed, so say you plant an orchid from its seed, or you know, you buy it on the discount rack because there is no flowers, right? And you bring it home and you see it, when you see its potential, and you nurture it, and you know, you water it and you give it love and you talk to it and you feed it, and you know, and you take care of it, and you understand that it requires some patience and timing, but eventually it's going to bloom into a beautiful thing. There's something very, very rewarding in that. And something actually much more rewarding than when you just buy it from the store and you enjoy it for a little while and then you just kind of like toss it to the side, right? When you put the time and the effort and the nurturing and the patience into it, it's just so much more special. And that's the same thing you can kind of say for relationships, right? You can have a beautiful relationship like come into your being, into your presence, and it can be all this wonderful beautifulness, but just like the flower, it eventually kind of you know, has to let go of the bloom in order to have some rebirth and bloom again. And at that point, do you just let go of that relationship and say, oh, you're not beautiful anymore, so I think it's done? Or do you invest in it again, right? I'm not sure if that's the greatest analogy, but you know, that is what was coming to me. So, you know, relationships are like that. You know, when you invest in it, when you invest the time and patience, it can bloom into something, you know, really beautiful for you. But it does take that time and patience. It does take that thought, it does take that recognition, it does take the right perspective. But with all of that, you know, it can really bloom into this beautiful relationship of reciprocity, yeah, of equal give and take. Yeah. And who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want that in their relationships? I certainly do. And I'm certainly willing to put in the hard work, you know, and the effort and the time and the patience, because I know that it can be a beautiful thing. A beautiful flower can bloom from it, yeah, and rebloom and rebloom and rebloom again and again and again, yeah. Alrighty. All right, so, you know, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your relationships. That's what they're meant to be, you know. They're meant to be something that brings some fulfillment and joy into your life. And as long as you can take the right perspective and, you know, put in the effort and the patience, then that's exactly what they can be for you. So aloha, namaste.